What's going on, everybody? It's your man, the sophisticated gangster himself, Twan P, aka the one and only. Welcome to another episode of Sip, Smoke, and Sales. You already know what it is, the platform where we dive in, like an Olympic swimmer, around the world to talk to every great salesperson, emotional state, physical state, financial state, from A to Z. We about to cover that thing, man. Just like a boiling pot over the stove. So again, everybody, relax like baby hair, Get you something to pour. Pour it in the cup, because we about to sip it. We got something to smoke. Let's get into talking this sales-ish. Now on today's show, people, it's like my prayers are answered. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to give a warm welcome. I mean, this man right here is like a myth, a legend. It's crazy that I even got him on, the podcast. So I'm blessed and honored. I want y'all to give it up to Sip, Smoke, and Sales for Mr. Charles Jesse James. How you doing, brother? How you feeling?
Feeling
yeah, man. Yeah. Charles Jesse James, Jesse James looking for stains, water, looking for dirt. Look, man, I've met some great salespeople in my lifetime. I spoke previously about the 5 great pillars of my foundation, and this man's name was in those top 5. So introduce yourself to everybody watching. And again, this is for salesmen from business to business, door to door, internet sales. Let them know who Charles Jesse James is.
Well, it goes back a lot of years. I got in sales. And I was around 24 years old. A friend of mine introduced me to the car business, and at the time I just needed money, and this guy named Mr. Charles talked to me a little bit about coming up to Coons Ford to apply for a job. When I got there, I never anticipated it would be 500 applicants there waiting for the same job. And
you say 500?
500 people were there waiting for the same job.
Wow.
Because that job at the time, back in the 80s, I was like maybe 85.
I was born.
Charles said,
I was born that year.
You could make approximately $50,000 to $70,000 selling cars at the time. And so I was motivated, young, hungry, and broke. And I went on that job interview, and it was like a 4-step process. That means that you get 4 different people interview you, and you come back for your last interview 2 days later. And out of those 500, 600 people, I was one of the 14 people chosen. And I remember my first taste, first time on the floor. They sent me down to Virginia. To be trained by a legendary trainer, Andy Jenks. And he said, young man, there's one thing we can't teach. I said, what's that? He said, we can't teach desire and we can't teach effort. He said, if you got those 2 qualities, he said, you're going to do all right in the sales business.
Oh, yeah.
And he was right. I had a lot of desire and I put a lot of effort in. I worked from bell to bell. That's one of the keys to being successful. Is your work game. You gotta have a real serious work game. That's the thing that separated me from most people was my hustle game. I needed the money and I had no fallback. In some cases, people have fallbacks. They can fall back on their family and loved ones, somebody they know. But for me, I had no fallback. And the best my mother and father could do for me is give me a hug and a kiss and maybe a plate of food. Okay. But they had no money to give me. So I was hungry, and that hunger led me to be the top salesperson my first month out in the dealership. It was like 65 people there, but I was the number 1 salesperson in my first month. And it's not because I knew a lot. That was not the key. I did a lot. So that means I stayed there from bell to bell. Everybody else was gone home. The best salesperson, I take it, he probably, if he just worked the amount of hours I put in, he'd easily beat me, because he's more talented, he's more gifted. But being gifted and talented, sometimes the reason why you don't do a damn thing in life.
Come on.
So, that's overrated. Being smart, sometimes you're too smart for your own good. And that's overrated.
I've definitely been guilty of that myself.
And so with me, just having a high school diploma, and barely getting out of high school, I knew I wasn't the sharpest knife in the room, but I had one quality or one attribute of the God he had. That was, dude, I would just outwork you. I look at you, I know you were smarter than me. I knew for a fact you think you knew a lot more than me because you had a degree. Some people had. When I got that job, we had like 4 or 5 people with master's degree who applied for the same position. I was me and this guy named Ernie was the only 2 people with high school diploma. And so, but even then, my rap game was pretty tight, so they hired me. It proved to be a good hire because I worked my ass off, man. I put in the time. I worked 6 days a week, and when they opened on Sundays, I was there. But at the end of the first 30 days being there, I made my first 10 grand in sales. First 10 grand. And from there, I was on to the races.
On to the races.
Yeah, so.
And again, hopefully out there watching, you taking notes because he just dropped so many jewels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So many jewels. Something, we broke the code, Mr. J. We broke the code, man, because we're supposed to be taking a sip before we even start talking. But I wanted you to get that. The people needed that. I think they really needed to hear that.
As they should.
As they, they really need that.
As they should. You need that.
Will.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Will and skill is the thing that you need. Mm-hmm. But you have to have the will. Huh? A lot of people have skill, but they like that. So yes, sir. Yeah, man. So cheers to you again for coming on the show.
No question.
Now, so Mr. Charles James, how long have you been in sales?
Man, I'm 62 right now, man. I'm in sales over 40 years, man.
You say you 62?
Yeah, man. I'm in sales over 40 years.
I don't know what you've been drinking, man. What you drinking? Aquafina?
Yeah, man.
You're pretty young, man.
Man, I'm telling you something, man. Right now, that I didn't even know I was in sales. I started selling when I was probably around 7 to 8. I would go sell at neighbors on letting me clean their steps, or I would go up at 2 guys and sell to people on. I would just grab the bag, assuming a sale, and put the bags in their car for them. I would clean Mrs. Johnson's steps, wash them down, and then assume that she would give me some money, and she did always. I had the Sun, the Afro, and News America. When I was like 12 years old, I hustled papers, man. And the money I made that came to my house, it was not my money, it was our money. My father told me that early on that, your money ain't just for you. Your money's for the butcher, the baker, and everybody else. And so I understood responsibility early on.
So basically, your father was like, the money you brought, or the money that you made when you brought it back into the household, it's for the household.
That's for the house.
It's not just for your personal own gain.
No.
All right, understand.
I had to give the money to my mom's, and my mom's time around gave me a percentage back. And that taught me responsibility, that when you make money, it just don't belong to you. This money is a responsible income. When you bring it in, you got to pay these other people. You got to pay for food and rent and clothes and transportation. All these things are important. So if you're home and you got a son or a daughter or a niece or a nephew who's living off you for free, you can't do that. You're postponing the inevitable. That means that they'll never accomplish anything in their lives as long as they have something to fall back on and dependent on you. So make sure you teach them one thing. Teach them how to hustle, and teach them that if you work, you got to pay. You can't get nothing for free in this life. Yeah.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Juice to that. What I like to say, juice to that, man. Yeah. So I did hear you say something very key. You said when you was about 7 or 8, you assumed that when you cleaned the lady's yard, she was going to pay you, right?
No question.
So, most people didn't probably catch that because the art of assumption is something that a 7 or 8 year old at that time ain't even really thinking about. Or should be thinking about. They usually think about playing outside, especially back in those days. Kids played outside then,
Exactly.
So they was there hanging out with the friends, whatever, right? You weren't doing that. You was actually hustling, and you already knew about the art of assumption.
Yes.
And then you said that you had to bring the money home.
Oh, no question.
To the family. So and then once you gave it to your mama, she gave you a percentage back. So she taught you. So you had to hustle, and she taught you finance.
Oh, no question. She taught me early on, basically, I'm not going to take it all, but I'm going to take some. And
Very
she
beautiful.
told me that and you need to save some. Like I couldn't just blow all the money. So that even that taught me a valuable lesson. That she said, save some for a rainy day. And the Bible said it rains on the just as well as the unjust. That means that everybody gonna have some showers in their life, good days as well as bad days, good times as well as tough times. Basically.
Talk about it.
But you're gonna have to have something you can fall back. What's your fallback plan? And so I always try to have a fallback plan that that if I always say tough times comes, but tough times don't last, but tough people do. So I always have something to fall back on, and a fallback plan is like a 30-day plan. You got enough money to last you for 30 days, so you can make it over the hump to you get to the next 30 days. But and so your season of plenty, you got to put money away. And that's a wise, prudent thing to do. And your season of famine, basically, you got to work to get to your season of plenty. And that's one of the things that's one of my greatest traits. That man, I've always had money since the time I was 25. Never forget this. And I was so broke. Hadn't got my first check from Coons yet. And I was just looking for gas money, man. In the freaking car, man. I looked for change inside the man. And I said to myself that day, I remember myself, just being so upset, because I was so broke, married, kids, responsibility. I said to myself, man, yeah, I'm a grown man living in America, and I'm broke. I said, man, what is wrong with me? And I vowed that day, man, I'll never be broke again. And from that day on till this day right here, I can honestly say I ain't never been without money again. Never, ever been without money again. Because I made a commitment to the commitment that I ain't gonna be no broke. No, I may be low, but I got some money somewhere, and that's the commitment I made to myself. And I told God, this will never happen to me again. And I lived up to that. And so you gotta get sick and tired of being sick and tired for you to move to the next level. And and that's so important. And then the other thing is just where there's no vision, the people do perish. So you gotta have vision of what you want to do with your life and what you want to make of your life.
Yeah.
Because if you can't see it, you can't have it. Now you can hope for shit. I want to do this. I want to be that. That's just hope. But but when you got vision, you can see it. I mean, you can taste it. You can feel it. You just I'm about to make this happen. I'm about to blossom this. I'm about to make this happen. And that's what I do. I'll tell you, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. Recently I just said I want to start doing 1,000 sales. I just said it like in 2 weeks. Then 2 weeks ago, we did 1,000 sales.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
We banged just like that.
2 weeks ago, we were talking.
I said.
And you said that you want to do 1,000 sales.
Yeah,
and 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, we do 1,000 sales. And, it's a power of the tongue. That's true. There's life and death in your thoughts.
Preach.
So your thoughts become your reality. The question is, what are you thinking all the time? You got to control the inner dialogue of your thinking, what you say to yourself, what you think about yourself. And because that's where all your seeds come from, your thoughts.
So let me ask you this, and never to cut you off, but let me ask you this, because there's people that are going to be watching this,
sure.
And they're going to be like, but I listen to motivational tapes, but I've read a book.
That's cool.
I went to seminars,
That's
right?
Great.
But one thing that you vitally said was, it's about your mental state. If you selling you first, right?
Yeah, you gotta do
so it's like you can have that extra support. Oh yeah. But are you really 100% supporting yourself?
Yeah, that's the whole ordeal right there. The whole ordeal is that you gotta get you gotta get you straight. If you ain't straight, you can't get nobody else straight. So that's what birds of a feather do flock together. So you gotta make sure your mind, your thinking, your concept, the way you see life is straight. And you gotta get your dome together, your head together, where you're thinking the right way. You can't be all over the place. You gotta get locked in. You gotta stay focused. You gotta You know, the number one rule of business is stay in business so you can build a business. That means number one, always make money. That's the number one rule of business. The second rule of business is always make money. And the third rule of business is always make money. Because you make money, you can sustain yourself to last through some tough times. Most people go in business, they want to learn, they want to get this, they want to get that, they want to get this, I need chairs, I need another computer, I need that. Oh, that's good. Now, do you have your money? And the answer is no. Then you need to focus on what brings the money in. And that's what I always do. You know, I'm really good at figuring out what brings me money. And then all the other stuff is secondary. And so when I was in sales in the marketplace, basically, I knew me being out in the marketplace and just grinding. I was a real grinder, like just a real grinder at the doors, grinder. That means I work 6-7 days a week. I mean, like, just.
That was normal for you.
It's normal. You go outside and look I have a book, 1988.
This is what I was trying to get to.
Yeah,
all right, talk that ish. Talk that sales ish.
Man.
When was it?
1988, right?
Okay, yes, sir.
You know, I was making $25,000-$30,000 a month. Got my book out there. It shows you I made $250,000 time I'm 27 years old in sales. I was trying to get them out. You know, people, they work a day and take 2 days off. It's craziness. You gotta be hungry for your family. If not you, then who? Talking about you working, motherfucker, you ain't even trying to get it. You ain't even trying to get the bag. I don't say nothing, but I'm thinking like myself, man, dude, in 88, I made $250,000.
I was 3.
In sales.
I was 3 years old.
You know, with a high school diploma, I was trying to get that bag. I mean, there's not a year and forever I haven't made $1 million in sales. Just never.
That's life-changing
Forever.
money. In 88, that's life-changing
so
money.
So people say they want to make money, you know. When they make some money and you gotta stack paper back to back, 30-day man cycle where you work 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks at your highest peak. Then you try to back it out again for another 30 days, and you do a 90-day man cycle. That's how you get the money. Then you tie another 90-day cycle to it, right? That's how you get the money. That's what I did. And then you fall out from exhaustion because you gave it all you got. But the beautiful thing about that, you don't have to do this forever. You just got to do it for a season. That's what people get confused about. Oh, I ain't working like that. No, it's for a season. That season will be over real soon. 6 months of your life will be gone by, and you be fat pockets, get the car you want, get the life you want, you know. You did it in 6 months. That's how people get a come up. You don't get a come up by working for 2 weeks. So you got 2 good checks. And then what? Then what's next? The mindset of a champion is he goes hard. Goes hard, man. You gotta raise your level of expectancy. That's all I'm asking you to do. You raise your game level, your thinking level. Because it takes no more energy to think small than think big. You gotta think big, man.
Get your mind right.
Yeah, man. Next 90 days, I'm trying to make this cash right here. What kind of cash you trying to make, man? I don't know, man. I ain't never. You say next night. I ain't never make $60,000 in 3 months. I got the potential to do that. Hey, sweetie, look, I'm gonna be out for a while. I'm about to get them. Next night, I'm trying to get 20, 20, 20. You know, because I get 20, 20, 20. I'm right where I need to be.
Uh-huh.
See that's the
like
mindset.
Donnell Jones.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So what people thinking? You have to stinking thinking. Like, you know, don't let the setback is a setup for comeback. So I understand all that, but don't you just you put the work in, man. Put the man. Don't let people tell you they gotta work you. Talent is so overrated, man.
Yeah.
About talent. Yeah. You know, people with talent, they get on your nerves, man. You know, people are smart, they get on your nerves, man. Because they rely too much on their smart and their talent. They don't rely on their work, their desire level. You know, your desire is the key to becoming rich. You said, what's the key? Desire. How bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it?
And can you fan the flame of desire constantly in you? And let me tell you how you do it. So I was sure you don't get figured. Some people they want to figure out how do you stay motivated? How do you stay? Listen, dude. By constantly telling yourself what you're going to do. You gotta constantly, you gotta beat on your skills. Like you wake up talking about, I'm the one. I'm gonna get this money this week right here. This is gonna be my week. I'm gonna do 100, and I'm gonna do 100 again.
Punch poverty right in the mouth.
And I'm gonna do it again. You keep telling us what you're going to do. What are you doing? What is that? You're planting thoughts. Thoughts are no more than seeds. When you plant the seeds, your words, right? Your words become your reality. That's what you got is based on what you've been saying about yourself.
So you're saying that the things you not only think about, but you speak out into the universe actually comes into fruition?
You manifest what you say, what you think about. So you have to control your thought patterns. So don't let evil fall upon you. All that means don't let bad thoughts fall upon your mind. Because whatever you think in your mind, right, you will manifest. And so you got to make sure you're controlling this. You got to control your thoughts. Got to be able to control your thoughts. And how you do it? By constantly saying what you're going to do. Control your thoughts. Control your thoughts. Control. Even I'm home sometimes. I'm watching TV. I'm controlling my thoughts. I'm manifesting right at home. I say, man, yeah, it's gonna be a great week right here. Got to get to 1,000 sales, man. I got to get that 1,000 sales. It's happening. I can feel it. I'm almost done when I can feel. I can feel 1,000. It's coming.
I can feel it.
I can feel it. I'll get this big check. I can feel it.
All right, so I got a question for you, Mr. J. So, again, if you're not paying attention, I just really don't know. Like, these are things that I was taught from this man, and it still has me in awe because there's a remembrance gene in everybody. People don't never lose information.
Oh, yeah.
You always can remember it, though. And that remembrance can be applied, right? And I'm in awe sometimes when he's dropping these jewels because it's things that men and women sometimes don't get told. And then not only that, sometimes somebody is telling you and you're just not dumb enough to listen and smart enough to follow through. So I want people out there, again, that is listening to the jewels he just dropped, go ahead and take some notes.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not sure about, your confidence and all that, listen, work it out. He said, get your dome piece right. If you believe in what you're doing, basically what he's saying, his mind sight is stronger than his eyesight. And I learned that from this gentleman.
Oh, yeah.
Other people taught me different things in sales. He enhanced my mind, like Oliver Holmes said. Once it's stretched, it can never return back to its original dimension. And so it was a thing of, forget what you see in with your eyes. What do you actually want? What do you think about? What dominates your mental capacity, right? So what industry are you in? And what do you do in the industry?
Well, I'm in business. I'm in business. And the reason being, I'm in business of making money. And, in America, nothing happens unless something is sold. Don't matter what you do. Nothing happens unless something is sold.
Talk about it.
Whether you're working at McDonald's, you sell it. They teach you how to sell it. McDonald's says, you want biggie size? You want apple pie? That's all suggestion. You want to talk about you want a large coat. This is called suggested selling. So whether you're buying a tire or tennis shoes or or a mattress or a brand new car, nothing happens in this world unless something is sold. And if you know how to sell, right? There's no reason for you not to get rich in this country. Just no reason at all. Except for you lazy, and you don't want to put in the work. But we put the work in, you get the money out. I'm telling you right now. Don't tell me you can't. I've seen it. I've done it. So, I know for a fact you can do it.
I see them.
And so it's just, you got to get your desire up. Get your hustle game back up where it needs to be. And then see whether you can back out, get to work to the point where you can back out 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks of constant work for your greatness. And sometimes it's just you. It's about you. You and you. You gotta have conversation, your inner dialogue. Yeah. It ain't about everybody else. It's about you and you. Yeah. Having a serious sit-down conversation about, man, sometimes you pat yourself on the back, and sometimes you need to give yourself a kick in the ass when you know for a fact that you're not living up to your own expectations. Here you are, 20, 22, 25, 30, and you ain't where you want to be. You got to shift. You got to make that shift. And so, and you can do it too.
It's really easy.
Yeah, it's just a mindset.
It's
it's
really
a
easy.
mindset. Yeah, shift your mind, and your body will follow. Some people say, well, you got to shift your mind. Start saying what you're going to do. Just keep saying what you're going to do. They keep telling us it's happening, and you can make it happen. So
on that note, what kept you motivated? Like going back to the young Mr. J, the 25-year-old, between 25 and 27, because you said you made about $250,000 between 88 and 90, right?
Right.
Yeah, so between 88 and 90, take me back to that time. What kept you motivated? Because I've seen this book that you speak of. Wow. And in a matter of weeks, you moved from the person that was on the last slot to the number one person.
Oh yeah.
And I mean in a matter of weeks. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it was like 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like a blow up. Mm-hmm. So what's one of the things that kept you like, this is the reason why?
Yeah. Well, you gotta ask yourself, who motivates the motivator?
The motivatee.
Yeah, the motivatee. I motivate myself, So self-motivation. I was motivated by my dreams. Man, I would drive, look at houses, man, that I couldn't afford, and look at cars that I wanted. And then my mother and father at the time, they still living on Lafayette Milton Avenue, So.
And for those people that don't know about that area,
Gay Street,
you know what I'm saying,
yeah, North Avenue.
That's the suburbs.
Nah, man, it's inner city, man. Row house. There's 8 of us in there.
Oh wow, yes sir.
Living with rats and roaches, So 8 of us in there. My other father was 10, and I said, man, I want to help them get a house. That was my goal. I want to help them get a house, And I said, man, shit. I was a little shot trying to become a big shot, man. I was, man, I'm gonna do something so I can get something, I'm hungry, man. I want to do something so I can get something. I ain't don't depend on them. They did the best they could. 8 kids. Mother got a 11th grade education. My father got a 6th grade education. And I want to charge free low off of them? I don't think so. I ain't raised like that. So I was like, man, listen. God told me, Mr. James, he said you make $100,000 in sales if you willing to work real hard. He said, are you willing to work 6 days a week? I said, yes, sir. He said, are you willing to work early in the morning to late in the evening? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, a lot of people say that, but most people can't do it. He said, but I believe you'll do it. I said, man, that's all I need to hear. Shit. Put the hours in, man. I ain't gonna be sitting in. I wish I could tell you I was smart. I wasn't. All the smart people are working for me now. Yeah, I'll tell you right now. They got master's degree. Most people, and my game was at the time was insurance. I was the number 1 salesperson in insurance. Think about you right here.
You say you was the number 1 salesperson in insurance?
By far. Listen, you imagine doing 100 sales a week in insurance and I collect money for every customer? I was doing that kind of stuff, man, in the insurance game. I put the hustle in them. I mean,
this is like,
yeah, I would.
One week you did this, or you did this week for week?
Man, week for week. People work with me. When people work with me, they like, he's crazy. He's really crazy. I would start 9 in the morning, and I would not leave till like 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night trying to get my last sale. They said, he crazy. Yeah. That's what I want them to think. I want my salespeople to be like totally intimidated to be out in the field with me. I want to work the shit out of them. Because I want to let them know, man, this is how you gotta go. You gotta go hard in the paint. Mm-hmm. I got those crazy checks. I got the crazy checks, man. Crazy checks. To prove it.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Yes,
crazy
sir. Yes,
checks,
sir.
Man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let me ask you, how does Charles James overcome adversity? Because every man, there's a saying, at the top of every mountain is the bottom of another one, right? So every man comes up against that. How does Charles Jesse James get over adversity?
Well, the reality is that I look at things a little different. I really try to best I can when I'm hit with tough adversities. Number one, I try to control my thoughts. That's a big thing because I don't want to I don't want to really get too down on myself, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. The second thing I try to do is I try to look for the blessing in it. Try to figure out, what's good about this situation. What can I learn from this situation? I'm always trying to figure out what did I do to cause me to be here. There's something I did. People always trying to look around. Oh, yeah, no, something I did. I messed up. It's like it's me, oh Lord, who stand in need of prayer. I messed up. There's something I did to put me right here. So I try to learn from that. And then number two, basically, I realized that, man, listen, I can't. The milk was already spilled. I can't unspill it. So let me make the best out of the situation. Let me make the best out of it. Now, what's the best way to make the best out of it? Then I go to work on that. And then number four, one of the things you cannot do is don't dwell in your mess. People get caught up. I'm telling you right now, something happens to them. Life happens, and that's what happens. Life happens, and they start falling apart. The question is, how long are you going to stay down? You can be down, but the difference between winning and losing a lot of times is your recovery time. How quick can you recover from your adversity? How quick can you recover after having a bad moment of losing someone? You gotta recover, man. Your ability to recover, will determine whether or not you get up and win the fight. I saw a fight like that, I remember that fight, when Sugar Ray Leonard got knocked down, and the man was counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Time 7, he jumped up and won that fight, man. He got off the canvas of life and won that fight. Question is, most people, man, you talk to them, they would tell you about something that happened to them 10 years ago. You know what I went through 10 years ago? She died. What the fuck? I lost my girl. My girl quit me, man. How long ago? 3 years ago.
Wow.
They still going through it, man. Come on, dude. Get the fuck over that, man. I ain't saying you shouldn't have no feelings, but you can't dwell on the same thing every day. Every time, everybody you meet, you tell them about your problems. Like you're a wounded soldier. Man, he don't even cry about it. No, he got his patch in the side. He told him, man, look, I can still tell this. He's happy. So you got to figure out a way, basically, to be thankful. One of the secrets to being successful is learning to be an attitude of gratitude. Just be thankful for everything. If there's any quality or any trait that define me, is that I'm always so thankful. And now I'm thankful. I'm very humble. I'm pretty humble. I got a lot of shit, but I'm pretty humble with it.
Very, very, very humble gentleman. Yeah.
So,
but you won't sit smoking sales, baby. So you can talk that sales-ish. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, man, that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen. Again, I've been taught by some great people and very humble, very, very humble. Get the shirt off his back. I'm even talking about, But again, he's dropping jewels on you. You know what I'm saying? I was blessed enough to encounter this gentleman in his sales company. And it was just so happened when he was doing one of his ventures, I was the first person to answer his ad. This is after I did this door-to-door, state-to-state stuff with Kenny Brooks and all that, Mr. Edwards. That's all that. After I came to Maryland, this is the first gentleman. And I told him, for everybody that don't know, now you know. He's sitting here on the camera. When I first met you, we're sitting down for the interview. You probably thought I was a little crazy, because you was like, the answers I was giving you, I was real, like, you like, oh, this guy is cocky. I was just convinced. And I told you that I could sell a woman in white gloves a ketchup popsicle and a blind vegetarian a piece of bacon and a pair of glasses. That's why you should hire me. I'm that nice. You know what I'm saying?
It was. No question about that.
I became his manager in a week. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, like, he teaches just like some other greats teach, that your mindset is the thing that overrules everything. You know what I'm saying? But again, you're looking at a product, of Charles Jesse James. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But again, I'm a very humble individual. I'm blessed to have you on the show.